2, 1, and we're live.
Hey, welcome everybody to Aether's Workshop, Starry Eyes, the podcast where you submit your submissions and we give you tips and tricks to how to improve your pixel art. I am Sprite Star, creator of Olympia. We got Woodstream, creator of Astra, and we got Geek, creator of Malo. Yeah.
I just
I got it.
There we go.
I was fully expecting a laugh track.
No, it's just meow.
There we go.
Alright, here we go. Let's start off with our very first animation. It's been a wonderful day. It's fine. We're finally early, guys.
Oh my god.
Today's a new day. New beginnings.
It's not midnight.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
not midnight.
It's weird. Everyone's like well rested and like we ate. Shit's nuts.
Yeah.
Let's
It's been working, so
yeah. Let's
Alright, so-
start off with our first submission, and it's our everyone's favorite little robot dude, Blake. And what we got here is a nice forward strong, it looks like. Maybe?
Yeah, the wind-up frame makes me think it's a forward strong.
Yeah.
okay. No, it says here F special.
F special.
On the file.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't I look like a fucking idiot?
Ooh, I really like how it's just spinning all
Yeah?
around the body. It's a very robot-y thing. I don't know about the hitbox though.
I'm assuming they move forward.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, I just saw the
it's
blades
basically
on the
just Robot special.
yeah. I saw the blades on the feet. It's like, oh yeah, it's moving.
Yeah.
I just noticed the freaking reflections are moving,
Oh, they are.
like on the head.
That's pretty good, although they're a little arbitrary. I get what you're going at, but they kind of move a little too much.
Mm-hmm. Like what do you call this when like the shine kind of resets really fast.
Yeah.
Position that back to normal. Aside from that, I don't see any much problem on it. Really, like
Yeah.
aside from some of the darker tones suddenly appearing, but that's a minor nitpick.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, like there's only 2 tones in the regular sprite, and then when he's moving, there's 3 tones of darkness.
Oh yeah, that's weird. You added an extra tone there.
Yeah.
I guess it's for like really just polishing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, polish face. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I would actually add in one thing, but I'll let you got something first before I say it?
Yeah. I was gonna elaborate more on like the lighting, like super bright reflections, like the white spot you got going on there. They kind of point towards the light source, and especially on something spherical like that, they kind of stay consistent despite the actual object part of it rotating.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it like moves from the left side of his head to the right and back again, it kind of implies the light source is moving, which usually doesn't happen. So like, it's okay if that part doesn't move because that's just light reflecting. I know, like, hey, make more things move, but in the case of bright reflections like that on a sphere, no, don't make it move.
Yeah. My thing that I would actually add to this, the startup of the animation is pretty nice. It's stationary during the spin, but since it's already moving, I think it's fine. but when he's like stopping the rotation of his arms, I think it'd be like way more interesting to do more of a visual turn in the top, like in the body before he stops. Like the frame before he like actually stops his arms in place. Like that frame before, maybe do more of a head turn toward, like, away from the camera, so there can be like something, I don't know, I feel like it would it could benefit from a little bit more of like an active movement instead of it just kind of like sliding back into place, especially since the overshoot in the arms makes it look like it comes to a sudden stop, right? Yeah. So that turn, especially in like the head area and like the top of the torso, if there was like a turn there and it just like snaps back and then like the arms kind of like recoil to like snap back in place, I think that would make like a way more interesting animation than it just kind of being like, all right, on one foot and we're back on the other foot, you know?
Yeah.
It's a great animation, but I think adding that little extra thing can help out with that.
Yeah.
Also, we got Ruby Knight in the chat. Hell yeah. It's a party.
Hey, it's a party, guys.
Hell yeah.
Also, what do you call this? Part of me thinks of the sound effect. It goes like,
yeah.
It resists for a little bit and then goes back to idle. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 A little like comparison thing I can see with the sprite that's pretty interesting is the wind up window has, he kind of like steps back a bit, but he kind of like bounces. I don't know like the actual terminology for it. It's not coming to mind.
Mm-hmm.
He just like stumbles a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And I think that could also work for the end lag.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Because having that tiny little like bounce gives a lot of personality to him. So I think the stop, like, if he jumped up 1 pixel or whatever during the stop, then that would be really cute.
Yeah, it's gonna be more personality. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and in addition to Spar's advice of making the head turn a little bit, it would like give the impression that it's stopping really forcefully.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But,
I think the sprite's good.
Yeah. It looks pretty good. And I also saw that Sack said that the ending of the animation is old. He probably like, revised it. But even then, like, looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Suggestions and
Yeah.
I'd say it's a pretty good suggestion. His chat said, yeah, we'll definitely do it.
Hell yeah.
Big approval from us.
All right.
Wait, is that a solo cup?
What?
I thought that was like a light.
Oh, wait, there's a cup on his head?
Yeah, the red thing on his head is just a solo cup glued on.
That's great.
Oh, really?
That's amazing. I love it.
I love
I
that.
thought I was like a freaking like light reticle.
No, it's just like it's a fucking party cup on the back of his head. That's amazing.
Okay, that made me just like this character a little bit more better. Just to know that.
I love how weird of a robot this character is. There's just so much going on. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to our next animation. Keep it going all along.
Yeah.
And we got ourselves Hal. We got ourselves a forward tilt. And he got a bone. Look at him go.
Yeah.
Does he have a bone in the Source games?
I don't know. I haven't finished it.
I think that's the Hawaiian theme. I guess it pulls it out of the bag.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys start out. It's fun.
Spargo.
Okay. So I think it's all right, But the biggest thing that's shouting out at me right now, well, two things, but I'm gonna pick one. I would say that the thing that I'm going to call out the most is actually like the fact that the bone, well, that the arm that's throwing the bone out kind of just like stops, right? And normally that's fine. But I think having a little bit of a tilt as an overshoot would make this look a little bit more dynamic, especially if it's like a slight tilt, right?
Yeah.
Like the wrist is bending a little bit, because when you're like especially when you're like dropping something, like hitting somebody on the top of the head with something, most likely that your wrist specifically is going to just naturally try to turn downward to like give your hand a little bit more like leverage or whatever. I'm probably fucking up all types of me explaining this, but like the wrist bends a little bit for a quick second before it like smacks back down, especially if you're gonna be like a stop it motion, you know. A little bit of a flick in the wrist area to make the bone like tilt downward and then just pop straight back up for the next frame would make this a lot more interesting of an animation, in my opinion.
Okay, so first thing I thought it was gonna be like a smear frame, and then I just realized he's putting out the bone underhand. He's like holding it under the bone.
Yeah.
He's not using it as a some kind of like thing to bonk at.
I'm mimicking the motion and it feels pretty okay.
It's
a weird motion, but it's a doable motion. And
I see what
it's definitely a doable motion.
I see what you're getting at though, Wish. Like his grip on it specifically kind of implies something different than like actually holding it like a club or a bat or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was like thinking, and then like no, it looks like he's landing a bone here after a few looks.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be better if like his hand was like at the end of the bone rather than like in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to grip it like a, you know, kind of like a sword or a bat, and it would make an imbalance on the wrist, which makes it a little bit more painful to hold once you end that motion too.
Yeah.
Physics.
Yeah, physics. Other things that I do notice is the shorts, right? They're kind of like being torn, especially on the left leg, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't mind the rest of this animation. And also, I don't know if it's just me or like the hair on the top is also a little bit funky as well. It's like when he moves, it's perfectly fine, but then suddenly it resets to like the regular hair before moving back to the regular position, which kind of makes it snappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of jittery.
You want you want to know what else is wrong with it? That's also on top of the jitteriness.
What?
He grows bigger.
I think I don't know. Because of the expression, I think it's okay, but at the same time, it's like our cartoonish motion.
Yeah.
But the rest of the body doesn't follow that, so it looks off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to use the head as a hitbox and not the bone. Right? Yeah. That's what I could find out.
Something else I just noticed, the back foot, like the one that he has planted, I think you should try twisting that a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause, like right now it's perfectly still and like Yeah, when people usually like lean forward to attack like that, they kind of like they kind of twist their foot like on the ball of it.
Yeah, and they also
So,
like they also raise the heel up too, especially if they're like putting out that amount of motion, like force behind it.
I just realized something. It grows like the entire body grows horizontally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. That's
now I look at it, I think like they're trying to make it like bigger via like 3D depth, Z depth as they call it, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
I mean, like, it's kind of a subtle, weird, like, it's a subtle, like, volume change. So, like, in gameplay, it probably wouldn't be too bad, but here, it's like,
yeah.
Like, look at how far his back moves compared to his front. Just, like, on the torso, around the waist area.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the back moves, like, 2 pixels, while the front moves, like, 7.
Yeah. It's just a maintaining mass thing. That's still like a very advanced. Oh, come on. Oh, wait, no, we're good.
Okay, we're good. Good.
You
Got a little bit, but we're good.
Yeah. So this is just like a maintaining mass thing, and this is still like a very like you got to be extremely conscious when you're doing shit like this. This is not an easy thing to just fix because you just thought about it. Like you have to be proactive when you're doing this kind of things. So I'm not. Us calling it out is not like, oh man, what a bad pixel art is. Oh, you can't do this thing. It's like, no, fucking Olympia had like 7 animations where she just got bigger, especially in the aerials. Like, jeez, like it's fine. It's just something you got to think about.
Yeah,
and yeah, just gotta keep it going. You gotta keep that in mind. That's all.
It's one of those things where it's like you can't prevent it entirely, so just like get it under control enough to where people don't notice. It's like, oh yeah, I realize their shorts are getting bigger during the attack, but like it's so subtle that nobody will really even notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it for.
Yeah, Hal got some good little moveset things going on. Can't wait to see what else comes out of this. All right, yeah. I want to see some indeeds in the chat because it's time for the Seal Boy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's a reason. There's a reason. I thought it was a joke, the entire thing, and here we are. It was an absolute wonder of a frigging idol.
Shout out to Huponia for this. Is that how you pronounce it? Huponia? Something like that, yeah.
It's Huponia.
Yeah.
The village from Klonoa.
Yeah.
Also, like, hacking, this is from the person who made Acid Rainbows and
Lumina,
yeah, the one who made. Yeah, I just mentioned what they made.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones who did this, and holy frigging heck, the subtle movement of the fist just gets me.
God, just so freaking clean. Holy hell.
Yeah,
why did you submit this again?
Right there.
Like, I don't see a singular issue with this. Like, this is an amazing thing.
The worst part, it's very cursed, but there's no flaws.
Yeah. It's very cursed, but there's no flaws. Exactly what I'm thinking.
criticisms is on the sins you've committed.
Yeah, no, like you did a great job on this. Like we all are speechless. Like, holy shit, this is great.
Yeah, it's like
I'm starting to think that you guys are like posting it here for advertising purposes, and I don't know how to feel about that just yet.
Submit to Flex. I wonder who that is. There's specifically 2 people who do that.
I was asked to do it. I was asked to be the third. But yeah, no, like an amazing animation. Like, there's nothing else we could say about it. It's great. Did a great job on this.
No.
All right, so let's.
I like when he turns the.
Oh yeah, the other idle animation in this.
I don't like being acknowledged by this thing.
So
That was too much.
That's
he's
great.
thinking. He's contemplating on what he's gonna do next. Okay, let's go to our next side. Oh, no, this is a crouch animation. Yeah, cowboy worm. Yeah. He's a little off center, but there
Cowboy
we go.
worm. A little cute cowboy worm.
Yeah, so we got ourselves into idle into crouch animation, and then back up.
My first thought is, how does this look if you just teabag, if you just spam crouch? These guys walk.
See, I would put like Deja Vu in the background and just rapidly tap down.
No.
Aside from that, yeah, not sure. You guys start off first, then. I think I'm a little bit in trouble.
Alright. Sorry, got anything else? Should I start?
You're probably seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, so I'll let you start with this.
Yeah, too. What's with this body? When he's actually like flat. Why is it twitching like that? It's a crouch. He's not moving. Why is it doing that? Why is there like a hole that just kind of like opens up for one frame? It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the rest of the animation is great, but you kind of animated too much. It's just kind of like unnerving. It's just kind of twitchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a tiny little.
It's the shading.
worm right there.
It's the shading
Yeah,
that's doing the worst for me on this, because like
Yeah.
the shading on the tail specifically is just going haywire, and
Yeah, that's what I mean.
it doesn't need to do that. Like, you could have like kept it the same thing. Like what you could have done is like kept the shading the same, but instead of like trying to move like the tail parts of the bandana. Like that would have been a better choice to move, because that's like the one thing that's going to move regardless because of wind. But like that would have been a little bit more wise to do than trying to do subpixelation on the tail, especially in such a fast motion too. And also like the blinking. I think the blinking's fine. I like the blinking.
To it.
Yeah.
I can talk.
You just
My mouth.
you discovering things, Geek? Learning things about yourself?
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got for this? Anything else?
Not bad.
Not really, no. I mean, aside from like somehow, like when you move up the, when you move when it moves up, like the shading on the scarf suddenly disappears. Like like when they land, the shading on the scarf suddenly disappears. But aside from that, it's really a minor nitpick. Yeah, it's really just a tail.
Yeah, that's like the one troubled area.
Yeah, it's almost the one troubled area. I could see it as a coil, but like at the same time, like yeah, I think
it's not the shape of it that's the problem. It's the like weird shading thing that's happening at the bottom of it. Like you see at the bottom section of the tail where all those colors start moving. That's the issue, not the form of the thing. It's just the weird like blinking of colors and whatnot. That's the issue there. But other than that, that's like the only thing that's wrong with it.
You don't need to make crouches animated. Like barely any of the base cast has animated holding crouches, and the only reason they do animate is to have just secondary motions like Claren's sword or like Raster's scarf and all that.
Yeah. Like it's polish, but you don't need to do it, right?
Yeah,
but
it is up to you ultimately. But like more polish equals more good. But at the same time, it's more time and
yeah. But let's move over to our next animation. We got another idle animation, second one of the night, and we got this. Have we covered this guy before? I feel like we have.
I don't think we've covered him, but the guy who's making this PK King is making a video series on his process while he's doing it. So you might have seen it there.
Oh yeah. It's like I remember seeing like the first episode of that.
Yeah.
And it's actually a pretty interesting series, by the way. You guys should check it out. It's a good video about how people usually go into deciding on how things work here and there.
Yeah.
And that I'd say it looks pretty good for me. Aside from the well, I'd say, at least to me, right? There's too much colors, right?
Oh yeah. It's a lot of colors.
I saw this. There's a lot of color overload that does to my brain. Like you could definitely balance out the colors though, right? You could like have them on similar shades and like similar colors, because right now it looks kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
There's like some kind of inconsistency, like enough that it's really hard to tell the shape of the character. Like it's only now I just noticed that's not the body, that's the cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, that's the cheek? What?
Yeah.
I thought that was I thought he was like holding a gourd in his mouth or something. I was like, man, that's a really bouncy gourd. Like, what the hell? Like, no, this is cheek. What?
Oh yeah, he's a chipmunk. He's got magnets in his mouth.
Okay.
Though the animation itself, amazing though. It's really good.
It's
aside from, there's this one little thing that I see.
Are we all seeing
tail,
it?
right?
Yeah.
The bottom of the tail.
So I'm starting to see why that's here. The tail is animated on a different layer, which is fine. That's a smart way of doing it. But if you're gonna do something like that, you gotta make sure that the shading doesn't clash too much with what's already going on at the top layer, because man, does that look jarring to have like that section of the body that looks fine without that like dark shade there, and then as soon as the next dramatic pose shows up, it just goes into dark layer, but the front section of it doesn't do that. Like the body doesn't do that. So it's just like, why is it changing color so drastically there? Like it's very jarring to look at.
Well, it works if you have it outlined though, right?
Yeah.
But from here, it looks like you have it connected from the back. So Yeah, I don't know if it's a layer issue or not. Oh, did you guys notice that the tone on the cheeks, like the outline tone, is actually a different color?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
You-
weird.
Tell you,
You
this little
know,
thing.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works.
It is a different take, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this without knowing anything about this character. Like, I didn't know what I was looking at as far as like the species of it and what it does. I was gonna be like, yeah, I don't like this animation because it's way too twitchy, and it was like, well, it's a chipmunk. Cause like, ah, there it is. Like that, like that makes sense that this character has that kind of like motion because it's a chipmunk. Like
Yeah,
chipmunk, squirrels, those kind of like wild, like woodland creatures kind of shit. Like they're paranoid about everything. Like it's fine. So
Like-
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
yeah,
Like it's a chipmunk and like he's like magnet elemental, so it's like electric charges and like actually like powering the magnets and all that. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's a little bit of the static shock, like electricity kind of thing going on.
yeah.
I like it. It's got a lot of personality to it. Just like,
Yeah.
I really like.
The
Looking
one,
forward to more of the
Yeah.
character.
I got one more thing I'd add to this, and it's just for a clarity's sake thing. I would actually say make kind of like this curve for the other cheek on the other side, because unless like the cheek, unless like only one of those cheeks at a time is like has the magnet in it or whatever, then I can just like, all right, that's fine. But like maybe just like a little bit of a show that the other cheek is also like has something in it and has like that
Yeah.
same shape. It doesn't have to be super extra, just enough to show that on the other side it's doing the same thing. Because that's why I thought it was like it had a gourd in its mouth or some kind of like bag or something. Because I didn't see like the other cheek out, and it's just like a clarity thing. Maybe it might fuck up the silhouette, maybe not. I don't know. But just like probably like try it out a little bit. You could just like copy and paste like the one sheet, flip it, put it on the other side, change the outline, boom, there you go. Like you don't have to redraw everything. You can just use what you already got. And for the fact that you're using layers on the tail, you know what you're doing. So can't wait to see
Anyway.
more of this dude or girl.
I'd like to give this guy, PK King, a shout out because his series about working on this character that you see right now, right in front of us, is really interesting. Right? He's actually really fun to listen to, like while working in the background. And it does go into like how many considerations most people do when making like a serious character. And like it's not like the full process clearly, but it's just like an adventure to behold. So I'm gonna post the link at the chat, and later on I'll be posting also the channel on the description. So yeah, check them out. Really good.
Hell
really
yeah.
good content. Definitely underrated. Give him a follow. It's like 100,000. He requires 2 subs to be 1,000. Give him that leap. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to our next character, and we got ourselves another IP character from Mortal Kombat, and we got this guy. Yeah, there's a lot that I can personally say about it. It's a
A
lot.
lot we could definitely personally say about this.
Yes.
I don't know how many times.
Shang Tsung,
It-
soon or whatever his fucking name is.
Uh, this is meant to be Shao Kahn, right?
Not Shao Kahn. Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What version of Shang Tsung is this?
It's supposed to be the MK11 one. I posted the reference what
It
he's
says
supposed to
here
look like.
versus DC, actually.
The what?
Mortal Kombat versus DC.
What?
That's a weird one to choose from. That's a weird.
I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
That doesn't. What? No, that doesn't look like him at all. He doesn't look like the Mortal Kombat 11 version. He doesn't look like the Mortal Kombat versus DC version, which I think what he meant by that is that this move came from Mortal Kombat versus DC, which I can actually believe. But the actual like character design is from MK11, because I remember him telling me that he was pulling from MK11's character like a while ago. But even then, my guy, let me level with you for a second, like bro to bro, right? You know, let's have a like man-to-man conversation here, right? So I looked up this guy. I'm gonna be honest with everybody in the chat, I'm not a big Mortal Kombat fan. I'm not a real big fan of NetherRealm games. As a fighting game enthusiast, I don't really care much for Mortal Kombat. But this doesn't look like the character at all, man. Like I'm sorry that no one said it out loud, but like holy shit, this character does not look like it at all. And I had to look up a reference earlier today to like see, and there's a lot of things going on here. We'll get to that when we get to that. If you gotta DM me for it, whatever, I'll handle that shit. But like, to the point of the podcast, let's look at the actual animation first. People already are saying in the chat, and don't worry, this is the first thing we saw. His waists go way too fucking up.
Oh yeah, this is like a jiggly bouncy.
Yeah, like there's a lot of inconsistency in the anatomy alone. Doesn't help that Mortal Kombat animation is terrible. I wouldn't say that. I think Mortal Kombat, especially Mortal Kombat 11, has good animations. They're just still stiff regardless. They're still more realistically proportioned. They don't do anything crazy with it.
Like, that's how it is in the early games too, because like everything was rotoscope.
Yep.
And there's a certain specific feel they're going for that. That's why the animations are like that. So, it works like that because like they have to speed up and slow down and maybe cut some frames here and there.
Yeah.
NetherRealm animations are usually stiff, mostly because of the source material.
Yeah.
But there's their excuse on the DC universe. But like, you know, at the same time, I could see why, because like they want it to feel strong.
Yeah.
Really, the punch like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a whole different way of animating. It's like I kind of want to make a character kind of like that now.
Yeah.
Right? It's really stiff, but it's actually really powerful. But you know.
Yeah. For someone who's made Olympia and knows that impact is everything, right? Like even then, I'm making Olympia again so I can sell that more. This is like really light. You know, like it's already like it's an overhead axe kick, right? Like it's like bring it down, right? But like on top of like the anatomy issues happening, especially in the waist area, it really doesn't sell it at all. It's probably like a timing thing. It's also the fact that the smear is like weirdly timed as well. You have the overshoot on the stomp, but like it doesn't really show anything. You're just moving a portion of the body up a frame and not moving everything else up. Or like not even bending the legs or anything. Like there's a lot of things that you could have done to sell this animation more. And I get it. It's Mortal Kombat. It's MK11, Marvel, like all that good stuff. You want to keep it like consistent to like the original style and all that. But as we've said before with other characters that showed up, that's from different source material. Sometimes going for the source material ain't the best move, homie. Like, just because Netherrealms can get away with it doesn't mean it's good, you know?
Wow.
Here's the thing, right? What do you call this? Mortal Kombat's animation might not be good in sprite form unless you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
It's all about timing and getting the frames where they should be. Otherwise, it just doesn't portray really well. Like, for example, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe just clear off a little bit. Now that I'm just noticing it, just like no shading on the pauldrons and the armbands. It's blending in the body.
Yeah.
I can't tell where it goes. It's like, I mean, it's pretty clear, but it's also vague.
Yeah.
And not to mention, right? What leg is the one that doing the axe kick? Is it the left one or the right one?
Whoa.
Right? There's no shading on the back leg, so you couldn't tell.
It's on top of that. Like, it looks like... Okay, now I'm looking at it. This kid looks like 4 different freaking animations already. Like, it looks like... it can look like, oh, he's like lifting the back leg to kick with the back leg. But then it can also look like he's raising his front leg while hopping off the back leg. We're getting right leg in the chat, so it's a hop forward. Like, he's hopping forward on his back leg, and he's using the front leg or the right leg to like kick down.
I can see this movement in game. I could see this movement in game and working. Right? Now that you mentioned this, like, there's a hop forward about it.
Yeah.
Which is like a typical Mortal Kombat style of like hitting someone.
Yeah.
And I could see it working. It's just like some of the body parts are kind of vague. Right?
Yeah. Like,
okay, now I just noticed the one that the back leg is the one with the tie on the.
Okay, do you want to hate me?
What?
Wait.
This looks like a weird walk cycle.
Okay, now all right. Now I'm starting to see a bunch of a lot of things wrong with this. So
yeah,
if it's the hop forward leg and you're supposed to be kicking with the right leg, then why does the detail on the right leg stay on the ground? Why is the back leg, the leg that's supposed to be hopping up, also the foot that's stomping down? If it's going to be that animation where he's like turning his body towards the, like, to be able to like bring the foot down, that's all fine and dandy and all, but why does the waist not move anywhere? Like, the shoulders are turning, the torso is turning, but the waist, the one thing that differentiates all of this stuff without shading on the legs, it's still in the same position. Like, the little tie thing on the middle area of the body is still in the middle area. It should turn with it, because the torso, like the rest of the body, is turning.
I've been looking at this animation too long. I can't tell what's happening anymore.
It's all types of convoluted, and I think it's just because no one's speaking up about it, and now it's like however long he's submitted this.
Yeah. One more thing, right? It's just a funny thing. When Geek said it looked like a walk cycle, there's this one episode that Mr. Bean exactly does this.
Oh boy.
Just to end it on a high note, don't get us wrong. Like, it's good.
More like no one wants to because he won't listen.
But,
oh boy, that's a yikes on my book.
That's a hot take.
What do you call this? We're gonna tell you this right now. Don't get discouraged. We definitely picked out a lot of things that could have been improved, and yeah, even editing animations and getting and redrawing a few stuff here and there. It takes time, dude. It takes time to learn, and sometimes you gotta have to face the harsh criticism about it. And we might have maybe wailed too much on this, but don't get discouraged. That's why I wanted to end it in a very nice note, right?
I will I will give credit where credit is due. I was like perusing the channel, perusing the channels in Extended Workshop, and I saw him talking about another move for this character, and he's actually like taking step by step on trying to like get the move exactly how he saw in the source material, and it looked really good. Like, it looked extremely promising in the work in progress state. So it's not like this guy is just like throwing shit together and not learning from what he's doing. He's picking up something, right? Like, he's learning, and that's the important part. Like, 9 times out of 10, and again, let me reiterate, I am making Olympia again for this exact reason. You look at these animations and you just think, huh, I can do a lot fucking better, and then you do it.
Yeah.
Like, like, after a point, after you just like messing around with this stuff and like picking up on how you like animate and things and seeing your own errors and all, you start to learn. Something clicks, and that is the moment where you do that.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Hey, Sai.
You'll get there. Don't worry. We keep telling this. The only way you go is up. The moment you spot those errors, the more you're conscious about them, and then it just becomes second nature as you go on. Right?
You only make your bad shit once. You always improve off of that.
Yeah.
So unless you're just literally like throwing a bunch of shit on a screen and calling it like fucking Michelangelo shit, like, you're gonna learn from it. You are learning from it. You're learning from it right now. Like, you're gonna look back at this in like a week or so, whether you're like listening to the VOD or not. Like, you're gonna look at it and it's like, huh, that needs a lot of work, doesn't it? And then you fix it. Like, that's just how it is. So don't get discouraged on this shit. Just keep on trucking and keep on learning. That's the most important. That's the literal reason on why this podcast is a thing. So we can help you pick out those things.
Yeah. Suggestion for now, right? Until you're very confident again to like submit on Starry Eyes, because yeah, we definitely wailed on you on this one, right? We had definitely a lot of things to say.
Yep.
Why not use the modding general? I don't know what the channel is now. I mean,
it's like modding discussion
like,
1 or 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you need to like add us about it too.
Yeah. Some people might ignore you, but you could explain that you're legitimately trying to learn, and people will point out a lot of things.
Yeah.
On your animations. It'll help. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's proceed to the next one.
All right, let's go over to the next one. We got ourselves our third idol, and another interesting art style for this one. Also, this one is small. Again, I cannot stress this enough. If you're using Sprite or any software that does animation, like rendering GIFs and stuff, please do it at 300% size. Like, that's the money size for us. And it also like helps you pick things out in Discord, because like sometimes the show original tab that shows up when you're like clicking on things is very hard to click on sometimes when things are really tiny. So yeah, 200 is fine depending on the size of the sprite, but 300 is the requirement, you know? Like, it has to be clickable, man. Like, but that's beside the point. The point is, we're looking at this idle animation. Who would like to go first?
Not it.
Let's see. Are you new? It's like my head is like, are you new? Are
like is
yeah. Well, I'm asking if you're new. Just like,
yeah, like
I've seen the character before, so I'm assuming so.
yeah.
yeah, it's like, because my head goes like, the contrast of this is terrible.
Yeah, this is there's a lot of like I don't want to say, actually I will say there's a lot of amateur things that's happening here, and it's like a weird sense of adolescence here as well. Like this is like a younger character's, like a younger artist character, you know. I just get those vibes from this design. That's not a bad thing. We've seen adolescent looking designs before on this podcast, and we've actually praised them for it because they have a nice charm to it. So just because you're not my age, me being a fucking old man, it was like, no, it's fine.
Okay, let's talk about the animation of right here.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's really simple. Really, like, it's one of those animations where you have no sense of how everything kind of works. Like, no, wait, not in a bad way, right? Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But it's like you're moving together everything at the same time, right? And that's not inherently a bad thing, but it's just common with starting animations, right? And the arms are twitchy, right? The arms are twitchy, and they seem to change size.
Extend.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many frames this is. Like,
I can tell you right now, there's a max of 4.
same here. It's really simple. It's really simple. There's definitely a lot of things you could do. I think this is one of those things that I think that's like super simple enough that I can't give any criticism aside from, hey, it looks like a really nice old DOS character.
Yeah.
But if you're not going for that,
If you're trying to do an idol, try to do it with your body, and try to get the sense of timing on that.
Yeah.
And if you get the sense of timing on that, use that information to improve upon your work. And if you're still somehow not sure, like you think you're doing right, you could look up the 12 principles of animation. That will help you a lot to start spotting up the errors that you have.
Yeah. Also, one of the 12 principles of animations is called solid drawing. So being able to like improve your like artistic abilities is also something very important. It's a little more lax with pixel art because, it's digital art. There's still ways you can like, not have the need to know how to draw a straight line with like one motion. Like there's a fucking brush for that. Like, but having something in your brain and knowing how to like draw it like the way that you want it is also something very important. So just because you're picking up all these things, don't be afraid to practice like drawing shapes and stuff. It does help out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very hard for me to like point this out because this is definitely like this does look like I made my first animation kind of submission, and I don't want to like break it down and like be like extremely harsh on it because I could totally be harsh with this, right?
Yeah. And it is like, it does really feel like, okay, this is the learning steps. I'm gonna use a very simple shape, use what I could know, use really basic colors, and use minimal amount of animation, seeing how I would get here, from there.
Yeah,
And it does take time.
takes
They
a lot of
say
time.
it's not their first though. It's not their first? If it's not their first, then why is this so simple? Like, what's their older character? What's their older character, guys? I do want to know. Because, like, it is us here trying to gauge the skill level and see that.
Yeah, like, I refuse to, like, rag on this guy for a bunch of shit. And then it just turns out that, like, he's just holding on for dear life, man. He's just trying to do his best. Like, I don't want to just, like, kick him in the shins a bunch of times over this shit. Like, that's not very cash money of me to do, you know? But there's a lot that you can take with this. He's the guy who made Dr. Seuss. Ooh, what the fuck is a Dr. Seuss?
You know what else they sprited is this. We've done before.
Oh, dude.
Oh, the star versus the star.
Yeah.
What the? Okay, no, this is just an art style thing. This is definitely an art style thing.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
The fuck
I'm
even
so
is
sorry.
a Dr. Seuss? Why? I
You
don't.
can see heavily cartoonized version of Dr. Seuss. Like, you know, the cat.
That's Cat in the Hat. That's not Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss is the art, like the writer. I'm looking at the thing that was posted. I recognize the little dinosaur dude. I at least recognize this one. This is an art. This guy.
Yeah, their name
How
is
old is this person? Can someone like verify this to me? How old is he? Or she? Not to discriminate. I just need to know. You know. Shoes loose. You guys having fun in the chat?
Yeah, it feels like an art style thing, but at the same time, it feels like.
Because
It's-
I'm standing by that this person is young and is going at it the best that they can. There's a lot you can learn from, and I don't think there's a lot that I personally have time in the stream to talk about. But there's a lot there. So, I'm going to offer my DMs to be open for this guy to contact me if he would so wish, or she, not to discriminate, to contact me about how to improve, how to draw pixels, you know? I will work with you through that shit. But like, right here, we got a lot to work with. And we've had a lot to work with previous submissions as well. So, if you're open to talk to me about it, talk to me about it. But yeah.
Okay, a few other things, right? I'm gonna keep reiterating this. This really reminds me of what do you call this? It's a really old DOS style, like the way they draw the character. It's like it's cartoony but pixely. It's a really, really old DOS style.
Yeah.
I think the first instance of it is an indie game called Climber back in the DOS era, and I doubt you could find it now.
Like,
It was just an
like the art style, like if we're gonna use that, if we're gonna say, oh, it looks very DOS like, right? It's like old Macintosh pixel art, all of that good stuff. That's fine and dandy and all, but even then, back then, like a lot of those sprites, I'm Google searching a bunch of them, and a lot of them were pretty passable. Like, you can still improve on it while still maintaining this style. And I think that should be the first hurdle you tackle first, because a lot of animations fall short because you limit yourself to the art style. That's why the initial sprite that you make is so fucking important. Like, it's extremely important. Like, months of progress could be lost by just constantly revamping the one sprite. And I've done this before. Olympia had actually had an older version of it where she was much smaller. But it held back on the animation. Like, it just made it extremely hard to animate how I wanted Olympia to animate. So I had to revamp it. So it's natural to be able to do that, but you gotta be open to improving your craft. And that's why I'm extending my olive branch. Also, I've already I'll tutor whoever. Looking at the chat, I'm in full Twitch mode out of nowhere. I don't know why. Twitch has really affected me and how I do podcasts. Holy fuck. Anyway.
Hey, it's a lot more fun. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Or I'm gonna put it here bluntly. Right? This is way too simple enough for me to pick out something.
Yeah.
That's really the case mostly here. And yeah, I mean, feel free to take my advice about, getting the animations a lot more clear, or get the timing right.
Yeah.
Or you could take up on Spike Stars. Or you could go into your own as well.
You know what? If I'm throwing this idea out in the open, just to see how things land. What if there was a fucking channel, an extended workshop that's just essentially a tutoring channel for us? We do the podcast and that's fine, but we could do more, It wouldn't have to be a weekly thing. It'd be a monthly thing or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I might later, once I'm done with pretty much most of my important things, I might issue a challenge about how to create a character that's only a box.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But what do you call this? Make this box as very give it a lot of personality as you can, because it's a really simple shape, and a lot of people think I can't improve on this, but there is definitely a lot you could do with the box.
You got a brain blast.
Flower sack animation.
Yeah. That's a thing that you go to animation school and they give you that assignment as something that you get graded for it. It's an actual it helps you understand how to animate things, and animate things with a limited space or limited resources or whatever the fuck. I'm bad at explaining things. Just, it makes it look good, okay? But yeah, I think that's all we can say for this.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream with one last character, and I know for a fact this guy did not render this at 300%, so I gotta blow him up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a Spike, I'm guessing.
D special.
Yeah, it's no, the character is Spike from My Little Pony.
No, I don't think so.
The old version?
I guess. Because I've seen this character before. This guy is submitted.
It's definitely Spike.
This guy has submitted this character twice, probably 3 times before. It is a dragon, I'll tell you that much. It is a dragon. It's Spike's OG design.
Yeah, it's specifically the 1980s version.
Yeah, the super old one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I know, right? It's a really interesting choice. Oh my god. Yeah, I just noticed it says Spike Gen 1.
Yeah.
Holy frick.
Gen
Dude.
1.
Much respect for you to use the Gen 1 character. Okay, maybe Spike specifically. I mean, I could see them like using the other Gen 1 characters, but like Spike for the MLP Gen 1. Kudos to you. It makes my heart flutter.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it looks pretty good to me. I mean, aside from the body actually just... Actually... Did you notice the tail snapping?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like the entire body is just shifting forward, but the legs are, you know...
It's very stiff.
It's very stiff. But aside from that, though, you really did a good job of easing and timing on this.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
gonna
yeah.
lie.
The actual sprite work is really clean. Like, I like just how it looks outside of the animation part. Like, it's good.
Yeah, like looking at it at stills, it's a phenomenal sprite.
Yeah. It's just when it actually starts moving and you slip it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also really like the how the rope animations going and the entire body just moving.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty.
Like leaning into the animation. That's very good touch.
And you had a sense of bounce to it too.
Yeah.
Did you notice? But the
Is that
entire
the
body.
bounce, or is that just the animation looping?
Oh, is it? Is it because of the animation looping?
It's just the looping, I don't know.
I think it works.
Yeah.
Either way, you may want to consider that. Yeah. Consider that bounce if you didn't have it. It's a really good ender.
Yeah.
That bounce is really. Yeah, the entire body is just really stiff.
Yeah. Like, good job making
Like-
a move like on with the single animation, but
I mean, it is kind of a nitpick, right? Because it works on its own. It works on its own.
Yeah.
Very well, and in fact, like at this point, it's like okay, you could push this out to production, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they add a lot more polish to this. And I just noticed that you actually move the ropes on the arm.
Yeah. Like you're paid. All the budget went to the lasso. All the budget went to the fucking lasso, man. Like the lasso looks great. But
Oh
that's
god,
you.
I just
That's,
noticed the smear is really smooth.
yeah. Like,
The smear on the hand.
why do you have a 6-frame smear? What? I mean, it might be like 4, but like still, like that's a lot of smear. And it's only on the hand and not on the lasso too, which I mean, I guess is fine, but like,
yeah.
I mean, like the lasso is actually being told pretty decently here, so I see why. And it's also moving a lot more slowly than the arm, which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a follow up.
Yeah.
I don't really have complaints about the smear over here. It's actually really good.
I like the smear, but how I feel about it is that it's in the wrong animation. Like, if it was a punch or a kick or something, and it had this kind of smear to it, or a swing of some sort, like if this was like a tail swing, and they had this smear on it, it would like, yes, Seth's kiss, good shit. But like, it's on you throwing a lasso. Like, it's already jarring enough that the smear is this move on the lasso, but the lasso is like not there, you know?
I think you could just remove the smear entirely on the hand, really, because like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just get rid of the smear.
yeah. But aside from that, yeah. Other people say it's too smooth.
Sai has a vendetta against anything that's like too many frames, you know? Like, he's yelled at me about Definitive Edition Olympia, where I told him how many frames Jab has. It's like, I don't like it. It's like, bruh.
How many frames is this bar?
Right now 37.
I just felt like Geek just jumped.
That's the point there.
But like, okay, I'm not gonna defend myself in it's gonna look good. Shut up. So anyway,
Right.
my gripes against this animation is definitely on the it's too stiff thing.
Yeah.
But it's not in the. This is like a weird middle ground between animators that like to do a certain animation, right? Like how I did with like Olympia, and I'm quite sure how you like with like Malo and Michael Itch and with Astra and all that stuff, where like you have this one thing in the character design that you want to animate that's really fun, right? So you do that, and you make a character around that. And then it also goes on the other side of the spectrum where it's like an animator that doesn't want to move the base sprite. They just want to work in that area. Like, my biggest gripe against this is that, like, there's not enough motion in the body, period. Like, this is a lasso swing. Like, fucking turn the body, have the arm go up, swing the shit, throw it down, turn the body some more. Like, there's so much shit that you can do to, like, make this more of a dynamic, like, motion that the smoothness would just make sense. Like, it really would. Like, this doesn't have enough dynamic poses. Like, that's just it.
It's not enough dynamic poses to warrant the smoothness of it.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. It's also in the timing kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's like being efficient as well in animation.
Okay,
But-
okay, here's... Go ahead, Wish.
It is, in my view, this is one that you'd like a professional product where you could just put him out, right?
Yeah.
Like you could put him out definitely. But we're here to critique.
Yeah, like...
Pretty much.
So definitely do better. All right, what are you saying, Geek?
Okay, here's a little experiment you guys can do at home. Okay, mimic this motion, mimic the sprite's motion, including the arm, the offhand not moving back. Like, try to swing your arm as far out and as hard as you can with as much effort as possible without moving the rest of your body. And it feels bad. Like, you have to consciously, like, decide to do that. Now, try that again, except you actually, like, move the offhand back to balance yourself. And, like, you twist your body and, like do it kind of slowly. Just kind of, like, pay attention to that. I do that a lot. I did that a lot when I was making a Malo. And that helps. Knowing where your parts actually move can help you actually do it in a sprite, because it's like, oh, my hand moves back when I move the other one forwards. And it feels a lot better and it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is why, like, you see, like, there's entire rooms in studios where it's just an empty room with a camera, and you see, like, people just doing wacky movements. It's to get the it's to get the motion right. Or just like make it feel as close as to that, as possible. So it really helps that way.
There's a good example of that. That is my personal favorite after seeing all these, because I've seen a couple, right? I've seen a couple of videos that are like that, but my favorite one is from Monster Hunter World, where they have like the guy doing the motion capture of that one like monster, and like he has like of course like the monster is built differently than a human, so they got him on like arm stilts. And he's like hunched over and he's like doing all the like this weird like wacky shit, like he's doing the facial expressions and all that stuff. Like this fucking hype seeing that shit, because he's getting into it. I love it.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
Like,
when the monster's supposed to like roar or something, he just yells.
Yeah, he just does it, and like no one gives a shit because that's your job. Like you're supposed to do that. Like act out your animations. It does, like,
Yeah.
if there's limitations to it, like if your character got a weapon, get a broomstick. Like, fucking swing that shit around, you know? If
I swing spatulas around all the time.
yeah, like, you don't know how many times where I've like walked home from school and I've started doing like Olympia's Jap combo while I'm walking. Like, that shit's fucking, you just get the habit of doing it because you want to know how that animation looks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was doing like Astra's animation too, I was like, oh, I had my cards still all over the place in my room. There you go. And it was like I tested out like different move, and you will see those in different movements soon, by the way. But they're like every motion of Astra, like aside like referencing from Lucario on some, I made those motions in real life too.
Yeah.
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 Like, the more you
if
mimic
you
motion,
cannot- Yeah. If you cannot mimic a motion, like let's say a backflip, right?
Yeah.
There are references in the internet, and if you still can't do that, like find an object that you can, like, see the motion of it doing it.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, let's say like it's a front flip. Okay, I'm just gonna throw a banana.
Yeah.
Get a fucking
And I have
action
a-
figure, throw that bitch in the air. Fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the more you mimic motions using your actual body, the more you realize where the momentum actually goes, and the better you can represent that in sprite.
Yeah.
This sprite specifically, I can tell they don't. Well, they probably don't do that a lot. They might actually do that and just kind of forgot about it for this time. I can tell because, like, you can't shift your weight like that. They, like, the more you mimic, the more you memorize. Oh, things move backwards. And
Yeah.
it feels way better if things move backwards to contribute. But yeah, that's my rant.
Yeah. I'm gonna link up the Monster Hunter World Iceborne motion capture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right here. Because what do you call it? It's definitely a thing. It's like you could tell, like, clearly it's the animator's movements, but like it's the actor's movements, but the animators emphasized on it and like make the important ones stand out.
Mhm.
Right? And maybe sometimes over exaggerate in some. It really helps. It gives you a clearer view on how like animation's like. Animation is a really fun job. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a really fun job.
It may take
also-
a while, but like, trust me, once you get going and you start to realize, oh shit, I can do a lot of dumb fucking shit and I can get paid for it.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm on my third character. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm
And-
making Olympia again. Like, shit.
Olympia 2!
Yeah, it's fucking fun.
And this is the reason why I'm like jumping in between different characters. Primarily Astra still, but like yeah, it is a very fun thing to do. It is definitely a passion for us to do these things because heck, it's fun.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, that's like one of our biggest advice today. Definitely, that's our biggest advice today.
Do thing.
Yeah. Mimic.
Mimic,
motions.
do the thing, keep having fun.
Do combo.
Yeah, there you go. And I think that's we have for this sprite.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all for this sprite.
All right, time for the next sprite, Shangsa and Kitty. Okay, if you guys don't know, there's a posted picture of like Shangsun's actual design and
Yeah, right after all the sprites.
documents right after all this sprite.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pretty-
Also, earlier Arctic Feather said that I did Malo's Fair IRL. You joke, but I actually mimicked his dare.
Yeah.
Like, in real life. I laid on my bed, I did the dare just to see where my arms would move.
Yeah. Like, I like maybe Geek did fair for Marlo. I totally did fair for Olympia. Like, I needed to know how far I can reel back to get that fucking motion because that's like a wide swing, and that was fun to animate, man. I love that move.
Yeah.
I have a poncho IRL. That's how
I want a poncho.
It's comfy, but it's also heavy.
But yeah, that's all the submissions that we got for today. Thank you everybody for joining in on the podcast. Thank you everybody who has these submissions submitted in. We've gotten to those, and we got plenty more coming in. You guys are just so happy to put more into there. Man, it's like going into a tunnel and then realizing, oh man, I'm not getting out, am I? But,
What's this? Like a Pokemon mystery dungeon?
It's Victory Road, but you ain't got enough fucking experience to get to Elite Four, so the door's just locked.
There we go!
But yeah, join in on the next week. We're gonna be doing the same mid-afternoon, night thing, whatever the fuck time this is. And yeah, good time period for everybody. So yeah.
Alright. Remember to shine your way and reach your dreams. Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple.
Peace out, everybody.
I've run out of noises.
It's fine, I got you. I'm not buffing Olympia's movement speed. Quit